What's happening, everyone? I'm just going to walk through the price last week for GBPUSD, the 17th of June to the 22nd. Interesting week. A lot of really nice high probability spots to trade out of. Price just didn't move at the right times. News took price at other times. Um, and yeah, that's what really caused there to be not many great entries. There's one that's basically still running now, a really nice 5-minute entry. There was a buy that was caught that we actually caught live with the group as well. But there was a couple of entries on EU, a couple of entries on AU. It was more just like two on each pair this week rather than a bunch being on GU, which is like is what it's been lately. So I'll walk through the week's price action basically. Same as last week, 4 hour come in and tap to this extreme, which had taken this supply, taken this liquidity and come into supply. It then pushed down, broken internally. And all we were looking for is price to either break this low and juice and get a retracement, or price possibly racked off the extreme of this hourly range here and possibly continue with that bullish momentum, or this supply hold a lot of weight and continue to sell. And as you can see, selling seemed to be the thing. So coming into the week, basically on the start of the week, we had come into this point. We treated this break as a break of structure based on what EXY and the DXY were doing, EU and the DXY, sorry. That and the liquidity build up. Just based on what we've seen before, this break of structure, we treat this as a break of structure. EU really did tell the story this week, but for this, we were quite happy to take a buy out of here. But as you see, because this didn't break structure, there was still a lot of choppy price action here. So no entry. We were looking in this 15-minute area, just no entry. And the reason the choppiness, I would say, is because the no break of structure here. So then we obviously got this break of structure here and this break here. Now, leading up to that point, this internal break here, we did look for an entry off of this point here, possibly just off a supply, catch a retracement, and then catch the buy. No entry here, no entry here. And unfortunately, this was late in the day, so no entry. This was around our time trading, no entry here. And then we were obviously London opening here, swept liquidity, no entry, unfortunately. So we did look for continuation sells out of here to at least come take this liquidity and come into here, no entry. And then we did look for buys down here. And as you can see, news kind of pushed this down and then news pushed this up. So there wasn't an entry either. But break of structure here, we now know we're either continuing up. There was a point we were concerned about. It is a demand to supply point, which we know holds a lot of value in price. And it's this one that was created here. So either we were looking coming into the day, obviously building up price action, building and doing nothing. We were basically looking, need to remove this blue dot, otherwise it'll drive me insane. But basically, price pushed up into London. We were looking for sells come out of here. No entries. Unfortunately, news kind of pushed things around here. This is a news week. There was no entries. We were looking for buys here to target this point, and then sells out of here, targeting back down. But unfortunately, price moved around. At the exact same point, EU had a buy entry, which was called live in the group, which we all caught. Price then induced this high. Now, once it induced this high, we can start looking for one of our A+ entries that we go through in the Discord. Basically, break of structure, which is part of our entry model. We then had an inducement after our medium inducement, and then we had an entry model on the 5-minute, 6 pip stop loss, and this would still be running. What is it running now? 1 to 18, basically. Okay, so you could target this point here, come into the next day as a 1 to 5, or keep targeting those lows, continuing with that bearish momentum. Like I said, catch the retracement to continue because that supply up there holding so much value. Okay, coming into the next day, choppy price action down. Could have looked for a re-entry. There just wasn't any. Coming into London, this day is where we called a live buy. We came into a supply to demand point. So we came into this supply to demand point here. Very, very nice point that actually had broken liquidity as well to create this push and create this break of structure. So we're really looking at this. There's a lot of liquidity to the upside. If we're going to continue to the upside, this is where it'll happen from. So this was a trade that had a possible new leg swing potential. 1 to 14 to the high. Unfortunately, we didn't hit that. It hit 1 to 4 exactly. But on the lower time frame, basically, we had an inducement into this lower here. We then had our minor inducement in here. I'm not going to walk through that. We walk through that in the Discord if you like that first link. Entry model, buy up, at least targeting this here. We had timing. This was on London Open, which was beautiful. Unfortunately, we took this liquidity and reacting off a 5-minute supply. Unfortunately, this broker I'm on now did sweep this point. Most brokers actually stayed in that point. And then looking for sells, there wasn't a clean entry. Okay. So, well, there was a clean entry here, but based on the way we trade, there wasn't an A+ setup, especially catching this. We told everyone to close 1 to 3 full take profit, and that's where we closed. That is enough for the day. So 3 here, then you had this trade here, which is still running. And then EU at the exact same time on the day before had a 1 to 5 as well. So all of those trades added in together, wasn't any risk, any necessary risk in taking this or needing to take any risk. More just watch price go. Then there was news here, and there was a third news event. We then came into here in the next day. Price pushed up. There was news here, news in here, and then we finished the day off with news. So no trades. But this weekly outlook has also been uploaded as well about what we're looking for coming into next week. So nice, easy order flow trades, nothing too complicated, just understanding where those supply and demand points are. Was a very, very solid week with what price actually gave us. A lot of high interest areas, just not a lot of entries. But in the Discord, and personally was a 100% strike rate week, 10 plus R depending on what you took, and or everything was called in the Discord. So beautiful week. On to the next one, and yeah, keen for it.